when George Steele started his new position here as general manager, artistic director, he expressed he wanted to have more of a dialogue with contemporary art and contemporary artists, and I had run into him and he just asked me, what would you like to do? What do you want to do? What's your wildest dream? Basically, is what he said. He said also that they have a large, extensive wardrobe archive, and there's a lot of retired costumes. And he said, do you want to come out there and look at it with me? And I said, oh, are you kidding? Of course. And, I was looking at, like, what would my wildest dream be? And basically it would be to have these various costumes flying all around the promenade. I've been using fishing line and fishing tackle to suspend garments and to make these sculptures for a long time. I really like being able to see it the way it catches the light and the way that it is like tensile lines in space. To me, it looks like potential motion or motion that just happened, almost like contrail in the sky behind the airplane. I have been doing work that's sort of under the subject called Exploding Couture for several years, in which I will take a costume that has a sort of archetypal value to it, whether it's a wedding gown or Marilyn Monroe's white dress she's famous for wearing in the 7-Year Itch. And with those, I'm sort of trying to animate and reanimate and kind of liberate in a certain way from the way that we perceive that character in the costume. And in this case, working with these costumes, I know that they've lived all of this animation, and I'm kind of conjuring the spirit, so to speak. I mean, it's beyond couture because it's constructed to such a level of beauty, of material, every sequin hand-stitched, no bedazzlers. They are constructed, they are built, and that's the language the wardrobe department uses to say, oh, we built it then, or we built it like this. I mean, it really is construction like architecture, and that's my interest in it too. The Cho-Cho-Sen kimono is one that from the beginning I've seen, and I sort of knew what I wanted to do with it because that opera is so disturbing on an emotional level that I just knew that no matter what I did, I wanted the kimono as Cho-Cho-San to really feel like she was triumphing this time. And so she's depicted with her kimono sort of spread out like wings, like a butterfly, and her headdress is like a crown floating above her, a little bit like a halo. With the Manon dress, the outside is this beautiful woven gossamer gold thread with embroidery, and after sort of taking layer by layer, we decided to finally take the whole thing out so that it ends up looking like this translucent kind of ghost angel that's just floating. And then we found a picture of Beverly Sills in the same costume. Somehow that one just became the Beverly Sills character, and she'll be the centerpiece. I imagine people will look and point and think, oh, that must be Carmen, or maybe La Traviata, like who's the character? And then more important than that, really, is to get close to these things. I chose a lot of things. I just said, people have just got to see this. It's not so much about my sculpture. Really, it's just to share the stuff and like, look at this hat with velour dreadlocks. I mean, this is fascinating. You want to see that.